and put the issue in terms of a confrontation between forces of good and the forces of evil as relating to the survival of freedom.
All along, it has been only too obvious that ever since World War II, the Soviets had been building their military strength. Their threat of world domination was real, and it was increasing all the time.
Dean Acheson was the Undersecretary of State, and he was the person who sat in the room with Harry Truman and the others and said that it was going to be necessary to make a very strong appeal and put it in terms of black and white in order to get appropriations from Congress. And it was he then who, in testimony before Congress, invoked the equivalent of a domino metaphor. He listed a whole raft of countries that were going to fall if Greece and Turkey were not aided, including India, among others.
The Soviet Union had promised to withdraw from many of the occupied lands, Poland, for instance, and Hungary and all of that. At the end of the war, the Soviet Union did not withdraw. The divisions hardened. Both sides chose up.
Dean Acheson had been Secretary of State, and he had lived through some very perilous moments for the communist program.
But Acheson was a grand old man in the Democratic Party. He was known to be a very hardliner.
Ken, he was fighting Soviets while we were still playing ball together at school.
I'm sure Kennedy knew what he was doing when he asked Acheson to come into the room. He also admired Acheson's mind and admired Acheson's tongue, which was very sharp.
So let's hope appeasement doesn't run in families. I fear weakness does.
He was one of the most respected people in Washington, largely because of his involvement with Truman in the post-World War II years.
His attitude was the only way that you stop the Soviets is to use blunt force.
His counsel was to undertake military action promptly when a consensus of the ex-com and the inclination of the president moved to go forward with a quarantine. Acheson chose to withdraw from the process.
What happened in there?
He was very, very concerned about the way this thing was going. In fact, he got so mad, he quit.